Hey guys, so I have Sector 2 for you today from this latest Conquest series. So as usual, we'll just go over the feats before we hop into the teams. But this is pretty straightforward in terms of sectors and teams to use and just the feats in general. So I don't think this is going to be too long. And we can just kind of dive in. Okay, so first things first, let's look at the feats again. So you need to win 14 battles with no attackers in your squad. That's obviously super straightforward. You're just not going to take attackers in. You need to evade at least 100 attacks in battles that you won. So pretty clear there. And if you can get most of this done while you're making your way through the sector, that is ideal. Attempt to inflict plague 200 times. This one is bugged, and I will show you both the bug and not the bug. But it is currently counting Nightsister enemies that inflict plague on you. So keep that in mind. You'll actually get this done a lot faster if you do happen to come across Nightsister nodes, just because they'll add to your totals naturally for you. That I anticipate will be fixed. So keep that in mind. And then gain health steal up 20 times. Very, very straightforward. So like I said, we'll hop in, we'll look at the teams, and then we'll be out of here. Okay, guys, so before we get started with Sector 2, I'm actually going to show you the Tusken global feat where you need to win with a full Tusken squad. You need to do this 20 times. This is in Sector 1 on the Professor X account, so you can see that the Tuskens are not crazy. We only have one at Relics. And the reason why I want to show you this particularly right now is because I only had 3 data discs equipped. So I had 1 Volatile Accelerator, 1 Amplify Agony, and 1 Zealous Ambition. So you can see it looks absolutely abysmal going against the troopers. But because of the data discs, we're still able to pull off the win. And once we've got some more data discs equipped or taking advantage of consumables, you'll see that it will be a lot smoother, and you can theoretically 3-star the node, 2-star the node, whichever one that you are hoping to achieve here. But I thought it was very reassuring to see that even with just 1 Relic Tusken on the team, you can get the win out with just 3 discs on the team equipped. So hopefully it will be a lot smoother. And I have already tried it in Sector 3, and it does look very promising. Okay, so let's look at Sector 2 now. So the first one I want to show you is Health Steal Up, which is pretty straightforward. You can see I already have 1 from doing a General Grievous squad, but we're going to go in. It doesn't really matter what squad you use, to be honest with you, or go against, I should say. But you're going to take in Emperor Palpatine lead. So you want his, you don't necessarily want his leadership, but you want him there because he's got the AoE health steal up. And I also wanted to try to not use any attackers on the squad, just to kind of double dip with that Sector 2 feat as well. So we're going to take Grandmaster Yoda to spread the health steal up. I am going to take Visa's because shout out to Savitar who pointed it out. She's got health steal up. I always forget that she has health steal up as well, and it's an AoE. And then honestly, I'm going to take 2 tanks. Again, I don't want to have an attacker on my squad in case we do get the win. And that way I can double dip with that feat at the same time. So just going to take Nightsister and then add literally any other tank. I went with Malik, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. So very, very straightforward. And you're just going to go in and you want to get health steal as many times as possible. We're going to be able to get this done in 1 fight, which is fantastic, and you don't have to worry about it ever again. So I will say on these OR teams, Karth kind of makes me paranoid. So I wanted to try to stun him if possible. It didn't work. So we're just going to go ahead and get the health steal up from his 2nd special. Because we have Volatile Accelerator, we're pumping out so many dots. So we're feeding a lot of turn meter to Palpatine because of his lead. But honestly, it's quite okay. He's going to get to do his 2nd special again, which means we've now gotten it twice. So we're sitting at 10 health steal up right now. Yoda here is going to spread it back around, and that puts us at 15. And then Visa's 1st special, her middle ability there, gets you another 5. So you are now at 20, and the feat is done. And we happen to win. So we also got that double dip on no attackers as well. And you can see here, done in 1 shot. Don't have to worry about it the rest of the sector. Okay, so we're going to look at the rest of Sector 2 here. We're looking at no attackers and evading. So we're sitting at 8 evades right now. But basically, for no attackers, I really enjoy using Padme. We're going to go against this Rex squad. But Padme here is really fantastic, especially if you do have Zealous Ambition. Again, I'm not going to lean on it too hard because I expect that disc to be removed in future runs. But with having Volatile Accelerator equipped, and honestly, I would still take Amplify Agni, Thermal Exhaust, Caustic Emissions, any of those discs combined, she's still going to be really effective in getting this feat done. So I do want to have Grandmaster Yoda for the Foresight, just so we can try and get a few more evades if possible. The downside, to be honest, with having Kenobi here, I do like having a tank just for security and make sure we can get that 3-star. But the downside, because he is taunting, we're not going to get as many evades since the clones are just going to kind of direct all of their single target hits at him, and it's going to pop that Foresight off of him pretty quickly. However, we can at least get the win and move through it really quickly and efficiently, which is great if you don't have to go back to worry about winning 14 times with the squad, and you can make your way through the sector with squads that get that feat done. So having no attackers on them like this one, we don't have to worry about going back and double dipping and kind of cleaning up a mess afterwards. So you can have a look. You can see we only got the 2 evades, which again, I'm not too upset about. I really want to focus on no attackers. Okay, so what I want to show you here, if you see I've got 5 plagues. This is the bug that is happening with plague in this sector 2. So if you go against a Nightsister squad, the plague they inflict on you counts towards the feat. So like I said, I expect this to be fixed, but I want to show you that it is an actual glitch that is happening. So I always use my gas against Nightsisters because I hate that they revive, and I just want them to go away. But you can see they're going to get some plague out because of Talzin, which is totally fine. Expect that. We've got 5. It looks like 6 if you count the second one on gas, which, to be honest, I don't know if they are counting with this glitch. So you can see though it's pretty straightforward in terms of what's happening. They're putting plague on me. I'm just fast forwarding this really quickly so we can get to the end of it. Obviously, no revives, like I mentioned, makes it a little bit smoother. Not that I really care whether or not we were to win this, because you don't necessarily need to win, but it's nice to again make our way through the sector, get the 3 stars. And if you remember, we had 5 before we started that battle, and now we're sitting at 9. So it's kind of weird in how it's counting it, but it is counting a little bit for you. All right, so let's look at actually using our Nightsisters to inflict plague here. So I want to do a full Nightsister squad, and I also want to do a squad that doesn't have any attackers in it, because that way we can double dip. And I want to have Marin, Talzin, and Daka on the squad, so we can also focus on that global feat. So friendly reminder, if you did not know, that global feat is bugged and you need all 3 of those Nightsisters to survive in order to get the feat done. So just keep that in mind when you are going through. If you're using a lower star, lower gear Marin and she happens to die, you might want to save your revive until you're very close to the end of the battle to hope that you can bring her back and win with all 3 of those sisters alive. Zombie, though, is obviously going to be really great at saving your neck, so to speak, with that, if she does happen to die, because you've got the revives twice. So you can see Talzin is gone. I am going to wait on that revive a little bit. I do want to make sure that I don't just revive Talzin and they kill her again right away. And so we're going to bring her back here, and then we should be able to just end this. And we've got the 3-star. All of them are alive, so we're counting towards the global feat, and we've inflicted plague a few times to count towards that Sector 2 feat as well. All right, and I'm just going to speed this one up as well, just to show you another team. Doesn't necessarily have to be Mon Mothma that you go against, but it does also work against Nightsisters. This is on my own account, but previous Nightsister team was on Professor X. So you can see 2 different accounts, both able to get it done. Again, the only discs that I've got equipped on both of the accounts are Volatile Accelerator and 1 Amplify Agony at this point, and 1 Zealous Ambition. So it is working a little bit nicer in that regard. And again, with Geos, if you don't just absolutely wreck them right away, by bringing back Brood Alpha, you'll be able to get some more plague out there. So nothing too crazy. Okay, so let's look at the mini boss, because the mini boss, we can actually get both of these feats done with 1 team. So no Jedi, Sith, Unaligned Force users. You know that I'm going to use my BAM squad. And we also want Sana to survive. So my Sana is very, very weak. She is 7-star, but she's only gear 8. So there's nothing crazy. She has trash leftover mods on her. The really good thing, though, with having Sana survive with this squad in particular, is she is a scoundrel. And that's going to be pretty important as we play this. So you want to get rid of IG-11 right away, in my opinion, because his healing is going to be a pain in your ass. I'm not worried about Kat yet. She's not going to instantly kill anyone. Nest is going to be annoying here as well. But you can see as soon as they try to do any damage to Sana and knock her low, because she is a scoundrel, BAM is able to put damage immunity on her. So we don't have to worry too much about her health here and getting instantly, blown away. Like I said, Nest is going to be a huge problem. I do want to keep hitting her, though, even though she has all that protection stacking, because I want to put dots on her like crazy. The other 2 are going to just explode on their own, as you saw. But if we can just pile the dots on Nest here, and I'll just fast forward this for you, eventually what will happen is she's just going to blow herself up when she takes a turn. You can see I'm never going into Whistling Birds with BAM, because I want to have his damage immunity ability available at any time to put on Sana. I do not care if it's Dash that needs it, or Han, or whoever. If it's available, it's going on Sana, even if she doesn't need it, because that's who you need to survive. So that's what I would recommend if you're playing this through. And keeping Nest stunned, obviously, is going to prevent those counters. And you can just kind of kill her off as soon as she comes out of that, gets rid of her protection, and you get both feats in 1 there. All right, so moving on, let's look at the boss. These are the discs I've got equipped. I've got a 2nd Zealous Ambition now, and I did pick up a Thermal Exhaust. So we are going to get some thermals going, which makes it a little bit easier to get through these squads. And with the boss, you need to win no Jedi, Sith, or Unaligned Force users as usual. And then Cad and Aurra need to be on the squad as well. So I am going to do BAM, Han, and Chewie. And unfortunately, that means Dash gets left behind, which means we're not taking advantage too much of the Zealous Ambition disc, except for Cad, because he is a support character. So he will take advantage of that. Not that we are relying on it. And then we can hopefully just get this out with both of them surviving. The more dots and debuffs you can get on the enemy team here, the better, because you're going to feed yourself turn meter. It is a little bit tricky because Traya, obviously, with her leadership, she doesn't really care about the debuffs as much. But you still want to try to get them to blow up. And having the thermal disc here is helpful, because those thermals are going to stack based off the debuffs that you're putting out there. And then you can hopefully just have them blow themselves up before it gets too out of hand here. So we're just down to Traya. It's pretty quick to get through them, honestly, especially with the thermals. That's what's doing a lot of the damage. And then you can just call it good. And that is basically Sector 2 in a nutshell. All right, guys, so that's it. That is Sector 2. I will be back tomorrow with Sector 3. It is looking super smooth. I can tell you I've already tried Tuskens in Sector 3 because we have that momentum feat, and it looks very, very, very doable, guys. So happy to report that. Anyway, thanks, guys, for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.